Thank you for joining me for this video, which is about the new indoor fireworks pack from Trafalgar Fireworks. This replaces the old orange box, which is becoming increasingly hard to find. You may still see it in a few retailers. If you do have a choice between the two packs, go for the new one, as it does have some nice new effects for 2025. A couple of other improvements. The box on the new one is much more substantial. It's a very hard box, so if you're a retailer and send these out by mail order, you'll be quite happy about that. And inside the box, we've got the effects now in individual boxes rather than a blister pack, which is contained in the old box. The Trafalgar Fireworks technicians, some of the smallest in the world, have been working very hard to bring you some nice new effects, as you can see in this photo I took during a recent factory visit. At the time of making this video, the box is hitting the market at about £12 retail price. That's an in-store price. If you're buying this online, retailers normally will inflate the price a bit to help cover postage, so £12 to £16, something along those lines. I'm going to show you the back of the box now. There's quite a bit of detail on the info panel, so press pause if you'd like to read that. Before we look at the effects, a couple of tips for you to get the most enjoyment out of this pack. I recommend using something with a very strong flame to light these with. A chef's torch, a barbecue lighter, turbo lighter, something with a really intense flame. This is particularly important on the expanding foam pellet tablets in this pack because you need a concentrated heat to get them going, but this just makes life easier. Also, I recommend firing these and again looking particularly at the expanding pellets, which are quite dirty and flamey. Use an old dinner plate or a baking tray, something that you're happy to throw away later. Okay, I know you've been waiting for this moment. Let's have a look at the effects. I'm going to start with the weakest effect in the pack. It's the Bengal match. This was also the weakest effect in last year's pack as well. It's called the Blazing Sizzle Stick. There's 4 in the pack. The photo shows 3, sorry I couldn't resist letting one off before I took this photo. There's also a bit of striking paper included to light the match with, and this is an effect which can be handheld or you can insert it in something soft to keep it from falling over. As you can see here, it's got a nice orangey red flame, burns for about 20 seconds. I would do these first though because they're not the most exciting effect in the pack, and I'm using a Lego figure and some Lego pieces just to give you a sense of scale. Let's take a look at the sparklers now, which are called Sparkling Spellcasters. There's 6 in the pack, and you'll note here they're painted in a very pretty metallic pink colour. These are another item that can be handheld, or you can push the wire handle into something to keep them upright. Usual sparkler safety advice applies if hand-holding. Please put the spent sparklers into water immediately afterwards because they do remain quite hot enough to burn. They burn for around 30 seconds each. As you can see here, the effect is a standard gold sparkler, so they don't burn the colour that they're painted. That is just for show. Next up, one of the new effects for 2025, the Sparkle Stick. This is a new product from Trafalgar, which I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of outside of the indoor fireworks pack. It's a sparkler without a stick, so it burns to nothing, no hot wire left afterwards, which is great. But the effect itself is also slightly different than the sparkler. There's a bit more of a flutter effect. There's 4 in the pack, as you can see here, 2 painted gold, 2 painted silver, with small bamboo handles, so you can hold these as well, or again you can just insert the bamboo handle into something on the table to stop them from falling over. They burn for around 25 seconds each. With regards to the gold and silver paint on them, I did fire two side by side, which you can see here. It's very hard to get the exposure right to show any difference between them. I convinced myself that the gold one has got a slightly more gold warm colour to it, but I don't know if I'm imagining it or not. Essentially, other than that, they are the same. Banging Bogies next, great name this. These are traditional old-fashioned throwdown snaps. There are 25 in the pack and they are wrapped in green paper, hence the Bogie name. There's not much to show you video wise for these. You throw them down and they snap, but here is a video just for the record. Next up, another new effect for 2025, Rocket Wish paper. This is a cross between a tissue paper and a kind of flash paper, but burns slowly. The idea is that you write a wish or dedication on the sheet, roll it up into a cylinder, place it down, light it, it will smoulder away and then float off with your wish. There is a bit of a knack to this. When I first tried these, I rolled them up quite tight because it's easier to get them to stand up that way, and they would smoulder but not take off. So the knack to these is to roll them up into a very loose cylinder, think toilet tube size, something as big as that, place them down and then light the top. They work a lot better that way. Here's a video of a sheet burning down and then floating up. It's a hard effect to capture here because they do float up, in some cases right up to the ceiling, but it's very hard to capture on film. Another tip with these, you can cut them in half and let off half a sheet at a time. That works equally well if you want to double up the amount you've got in the packet. Let's have a quick look at a video of half of a sheet going up. I did try to pan up with the camera to capture the full majestic flight path of one of these, but failed miserably. In this clip it just goes out of frame and then out of focus, but you can see an eerie glow heading up towards the ceiling. Now the most infamous effects in these indoor packs now, the expanding black tablet, aka the dog poo. These are called blazing black mambas. There's 8 of these in the pack. Don't be fooled by their small size. Of all the effects in this pack, this is by far the one that burns with the most intense flame and is the messiest effect, so it's critical that you put these on a baking tray or an old dinner plate. Also, I found that you do need quite an intense flame to get them going, hence my recommendation for using a good quality lighter. Let's see one in action now. As you can see, despite the small size, these just keep on giving. To prove the point about needing a good flame for these, the second tablet I lit but took the flame away a bit too soon. As you can see, it then took another attempt to get it going. Next up, Lava Storm, which is a small sized ice fountain. This comes with a plastic pin which you can take off if you want to just put these straight down onto a table, or you can use the pin to push them into something soft. There's 2 in a packet. I should point out there's no lava with these and they're not like a volcano either. So if you are an older viewer and you remember the vintage packs which did have a lava type effect in, you won't get that with this, but it is a nice effect nonetheless. Let's see it in action now. Apologies for the wobbly video with this. I realised the effect wasn't going to fit in the whole frame, so I'm trying to pan around to show you what's happening. Unfortunately, I had a photo tripod head, not a video one, operator error, hence it's all a bit amateur, but you'll get the idea what's happening. The plume is about a foot long, maybe a bit more, and they burn for around 30 seconds each. The grand finale now, it's Scorchy McTorchy, the fire-breathing dragon. Kids are going to love this, I think. This is a really good effect. It is, however, a standard issue ice fountain with a card sleeve. The reason I'm pointing this out is because as you can remove the ice fountain, you can in effect reload this if you buy ice fountains separately. These are widely available for a couple of pounds each. Even my local supermarket sells them. They're called cake fountains or ice fountains. With that in mind, when you fire this, just extend the end a bit beyond the dragon so the card sleeve doesn't catch fire or singe. As with the other ice fountain in the pack, you've got a pin on which you can take off if you want to put it straight down, but just take a bit more care with this to make sure it's not going to fall over, or use the pin and place it down into something soft. Let's see this one in action. Another very wobbly video, but you can get the idea of the pretty large plume and also a great burn time of around 50 seconds. And there we go, that's all of the effects from this pack. I think this is a great stocking filler. It's a really good present even for people not into fireworks. This is such a unique product. They're very hard to manufacture and bring into the UK, surprisingly hard, despite the fact that they're only small scale fireworks. You can probably imagine the legislation around products like this these days. It's terrible. So I think it's a great purchase for the cost. These should be very widely available now online from fireworks shops, party suppliers, also Amazon. I'm not going to link to anyone specifically in my description because I'd rather remain independent from retailers, but you shouldn't have any problems finding these. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.